Coming up on OU Nightly, flooded floors in Walker Tower, we find out what caused it. And allergy season is awful right now, what you need to take to feel better.
Plus, feeling under the weather from sniffles, sneezes, and snot? Find out why. This is OU Nightly.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Bailey Coyle.
And I'm Snow Fourth. We begin tonight with breaking news. A new body cam video showing the arrest of Oklahoma State football safety Trey Rucker. OU Nightly sports reporter Kaylee Carnine is following the story for us. Kaylee?
Snow, Stillwater police say it happened Sunday morning and the body cam video was released just this afternoon. Let's take a look.
Your driver's license is suspended.
Stillwater police say they were notified by other drivers that Rucker's car was sitting in the middle of the road and not moving. The caller told police the vehicle sat through 2 cycles of a stoplight. Officers say Rucker told them he was on his way home from watching game film at the OSU stadium and that there was an odor of alcohol in the car and coming from his breath. Police say Rucker faces charges of DUI and driving with a suspended license. The OSU Athletic Department says it is aware of the incident and will have no further comment until its weekly press conference on Monday. If you want to watch all of the body cam video or read the police report, head to our social media pages. We've posted it there. I'm Kaylee Carnine, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Kaylee. Back here on campus, students in Walker Tower are wondering when the halls will dry out after the 10th floor flooded last night. OU Nightly's Addison Arthur is outside Walker Tower with the story now. Addison, OU says the flooding didn't impact students' rooms?
That's right. It didn't affect many students, but it did affect a resident advisor. Here's video from students showing the flooding. As you can see, it was a wet mess on the 10th floor of Walker Tower Tuesday afternoon. A pipe broke in the trash room, causing the hallways and common areas to flood. One person had to relocate for the night, and many students are thankful it didn't affect them too much.
I saw pictures on our group chat and it was really flooded and it just was like a big puddle in our common areas.
I checked my phone and our RA was like, this is not a drill, exit now. Yeah. So then everyone just started walking on over and everyone was like, ugh. And then we started walking down and then this girl went to another floor to see if the sirens were going off for the other floors, and there was no sirens except for our floor.
It was like 2 o'clock yesterday, and then within like 5 minutes there was a whole puddle.
Students told us that the hallways are still wet, but most of the mess is cleaned up. Reporting live from Walker Tower here on campus, Addison Arthur, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Addison. Another big talker on campus. It seems everyone is suffering with awful allergies. Our meteorologists say levels are sky high right now. OU Nightly's Micah Thompson is live with ideas on how you can feel better faster.
Snow and Bailey, as the season gets underway, leaves are starting to fall, and that means allergy irritation for everyone.
My nose gets a little runny in these past few months, and especially my eyes have been getting red and just super itchy.
The season for red eyes and an itchy nose is here and not going away anytime soon. But here's what you can take to make your allergy conditions less severe.
The best over-the-counter is like a once daily antihistamine, so like your Claritin, Zyrtec, Allegra, and one may work better for someone than it does in others.
According to the Oklahoma Allergy and Asthma Clinic, there is a very high alert for ragweed and pollen. Pharmacist Jackie Strawn explains the difference between pollen and ragweed and ways to keep your symptoms under control at home.
Now, ragweed, I think, is an actual weed that grows, and pollen's just the stuff that comes off the flowers. Keeping your windows closed is probably good because ragweed's really high right now. People do dehumidifiers in the allergy season because it helps keep it out.
OU student Ethan Richardson believes it's a bit disruptive during class, but he knows he's not the only one suffering.
I mean, sometimes I can get a little annoyed because it can get a little noisy, but it's also I know I'm going through the same thing.
For those wanting relief, there's not an exact end date, but things will start to calm down as it gets cooler.
That's hard in Oklahoma because it usually ends when it starts getting super cold, so end of October, November, but with it the weather not changing as fast, then sometimes it sticks around for a little bit longer.
Pharmacist Jackie Strawn also recommends wearing a mask if you're a heavy sneezer to help slow the spread of germs. Reporting live in Norman, Mecca Thompson, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Mecca. I'll have to try some of those tips. There are allergens that are high right now and causing those sneezing attacks.
OU Nightly's meteorologist Drake Foley has a deeper look at the allergy report. Drake.
Yes, that's exactly right. Cough, sneeze, and wheeze, that's what we got going on right now. The weed pollen is very high, as well as the mold allergies. That's also in high, and we're seeing medium for trees and grass, so it's going to be pretty sniffly outside, and it doesn't help with the heat that we're seeing across the state. 90s in the metro, 97 in Enid, 94 even out in the Panhandle in Guyman, so you got to make sure to try to stay a little cool and stay out of those allergies. As for the weather headlines today, we're looking at sniffles and sneezes, high pressure and heat, and the upcoming family weekend. Snow and Bailey, back to you.
Thanks, Drake. With the writer's strike officially over, your favorite movies and TV shows are one step closer to returning. OU Nightly's Ben Dacu is live in the newsroom with details. Ben.
After 148 days, the writer's strike finally ends just after midnight on Wednesday morning. In negotiations with Hollywood's biggest studios, the writers secured higher compensation and protections against studios forcing the use of artificial intelligence in the writing process. With the writer's strike over, members of the Screen Actors Guild still remain on the picket lines.
Obviously don't have a crystal ball, so I think sort of the rumors that we hear is it was really good news that the writers were able to come to an agreement. Kind of checks that box, hopefully by the end of October. I mean, I think that's what everybody's wish is.
Progress has been made, but there's still a ways to go before Hollywood is back to 100%. Ladies, back to you two in the studio.
Thanks, Ben. In Philadelphia, police are cracking down as looters hit multiple stores in the city. Kennedy Patterson has that and the rest of today's headlines from the News Center.
Philadelphia's mayor says more than 50 people were arrested after a night of looting in the city. The chaos comes after a judge dismissed charges against a former police officer who shot and killed Eddie Irizarry. The city's interim police commissioner believes that the looting isn't related to the murder, but instead an excuse to participate in destroying the city. Democratic Senator Bob Menendez pleads not guilty to the bribery charges brought against him. Prosecutors say both him and his wife accepted money and luxury items in exchange for helping the Egyptian government. More than half of the Senate Democratic caucus is calling for Menendez to resign. This is the second time that Menendez is accused of trading his political influence for monetary gain. If you drive a Kia or a Hyundai, your car might be affected by a recall due to a fire risk. It includes more than 3 million vehicles made in 2010 through 2019. Regulators say the cars are catching on fire, even with their engines turned off. So far, no injuries have been reported. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has the full list of affected cars online. In Bailey, snow, NASA astronaut Frank Rubio returns, making history as the first American to spend more than a year in space.
Oh, that's a long time to be in a spaceship. Up next on OU Nightly, an El Nino is quickly developing.
Stick around to see how this weather pattern is going to affect the U.S. And a river is causing concerns for some people.
After the break, learn which river and what the concerns are.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
This is the first full week of fall, and Christine Gormley has the latest on what this winter could feel like.
Yeah, Snow, Bailey, scientists have been watching a rapidly developing El Nino pattern for months. According to the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, the U.S. is currently under an El Nino advisory. El Nino is a natural climate pattern typically present every 2 to 7 years. It brings warmer than average sea surface temperatures to the equilateral Pacific Ocean, which will affect the United States. El Nino typically leads to warmer and drier conditions for the northern U.S. and wetter and colder conditions for the South. Experts say they are concerned over critically low levels of the Mississippi River. The low levels could cause saltwater intrusion from the Gulf of Mexico to mix with drinking water systems in places like New Orleans. To help, Louisiana officials and the Army Corps of Engineers are delivering millions of gallons of fresh water to at-risk treatment facilities from plants located above the saltwater source. According to NOAA, last month was the hottest August ever recorded. Records dating back 174 years ago were shattered. The report says the scorching August temperatures mark the 534th consecutive month temperatures have reached above the 20th century average. But thankfully, temperatures so far for September are closer to average. Bailey, Snow, back to you. Thanks, Christine. And coming up on OU Nightly, OU is striving to improve student and employee wellness.
When we return, see what extra steps the university is taking.
Feeling under the weather with a cold, even in this continuous heat. Find out why and how long that heat will stick around. Coming up next.
To Sofia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
And welcome back to OU Nightly. Right now looking at a blue sky over the Perrington Oval. Not a lot of students right now walking down the South Perrington Oval, but it is getting towards the time where classes start to end for the day. And right now 91 degrees, but humidity is not too bad, 30%. Feels actually cooler than it is outside, but like we talked about earlier, allergies are not good, especially even with this heat as those leaves start to fall. That weed pollen very high, that mold pollen high, and then medium for grass and trees. As we get into the current temperatures across the region, 90s down here. Our friends in Kansas City and St. Louis sitting in the 80s right now, having a little bit better of a night. But as we zoom into our area, 96 in Lawton, 94 out in Guyman. It's not feeling really nice outside right now, and we're definitely hoping that it gets a little bit better. For you guys who like the nighttime though, 60s across the state. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Elk City 62. So if you want to go out tonight, maybe walk your dog, it won't be unpleasant, that's for sure. But tomorrow we're talking about that unpleasantness again. 92 in the metro area and not a very high wind, only at about south 5 to 15. And when we've been talking about how it's been so hot, you can see we've only had 6 days so far this September where we've been below average. Every other time has been above average or at average. Those days are not fun. I know I'm burning up, and it's going to be like that for a little bit longer. As you can see right now, low pressure stationary front sitting right here, and it's just holding these temperatures. And for the 8 to 14 day outlook right now, we're looking at above average temperatures everywhere right now, all the way out into the East Coast. It's not going to be great at all, but we are looking at precipitation into next week right now. Above average, sitting out west of Dallas all the way up into Minnesota right now. So we're looking at maybe having that, but it's Fall Family Weekend. Friday 92, Saturday 91, Sunday 89. So if you're going to be taking your parents out to the Iowa State game this weekend, it's going to be a little hot. Try to dress with a little bit cooler clothes so you don't burn up outside. As for our 7-day forecast, Thursday, we're looking at 92 before Friday also being at 92, 91 on Saturday, 89 on Sunday, Monday 90, Tuesday 88, Wednesday 85, and I know that I'm exactly ready for it to start getting colder. And when we get into October, you know it's cold, time to break out those sweaters and to see the fall moving out.
You know, I am so excited for the trees to start changing colors. Like, campus just gets so beautiful whenever the trees are all changed.
I couldn't agree more. I am so excited to walk to class with my hot chocolate and my sweater, the whole shebang.
Oh, me too.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
Well, thank you, Drake. As college students, sometimes healthy living is difficult. This month is Employee Wellness Month, but OU Health Services wants to extend some wellness tips to students as well. Today, OU Health Services partnered with Sooner Parents and Live Well to organize the annual Plant Your Way to Healthy Living event. Students were able to enjoy salads, succulents, and a little sun. During this plant potting party, OU Health Services shares tips on how to spice up your diet with certified dietitians and peer educators.
Our goal is that we're trying to promote wellness in our community, specifically with encouraging people to eat more plant-based and eat maybe cleaner foods. It's Employee Wellness Month, and OU Goddard really just wants to extend that to the local OU student community as well.
For more information about ways you can stay healthy, go visit the OU Health Services website.
One OU football player continues to make an impact on the field.
And now he's being recognized for his efforts off the field once again.
That's right, and from double losses to a double header, one Sooner squad is looking to redeem themselves against a Big 12 foe. I'll have that and more coming up in sports.
It all can get so out of control. Sometimes you can lose your faith, you can lose your mind, lose your grip, get stripped of your pride till you don't know how you're gonna stay alive. Hey, hey, I got you. I will give you what you need, and I'll be right there. I got you back. I got you.
Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
I'm Abby Williams, and it's time for sports. Oklahoma may be far from the coast, but a cyclone is headed for Norman. Head football coach Brent Venables recognizes the challenge Iowa State threatens.
They've had a lot of success, and they 1-2 in those games, but the scoreboard total for both sides of the ball is 101 for Oklahoma and 100 for Iowa State. So they'll have great confidence as it'll be a disciplined, tough, physical football team, and going to be, again, a good challenge for us.
Danny Stutzman leads the Big 12 in tackles, but his focus remains the same no matter what team the Sooners face.
I mean, it's really easy, every single week we talk about being 0-0, so it doesn't change, no matter who we're playing, our focus is Iowa State. I mean, they're going to do a lot of, formation to the boundary, lots of shifts, lots of motion, so they're really got to see how we adjust, to each of their different formations, a lot of exotics, end overs, X-offs, stuff like that. So we got to be ready to, come prepared with a good game plan, how to adjust all the formations.
Oklahoma receiver Drake Stoops is making moves on the field and in the classroom. Stoops has been named a semifinalist for the William V. Campbell Trophy for the second year in a row. The trophy is awarded to the top football student athlete in the nation. OU volleyball is set to take on the University of Central Florida in a doubleheader this weekend. The Sooners lost their last 2 matches, and the Knights are coming off their first Big 12 win. The games are Friday and Saturday night, both at 6. On the field, Sooner Magic is alive and well with Oklahoma soccer. After 2 goals late in the game against Houston, the Sooners earned their first true road win in over a year. Now OU travels to Lubbock for tomorrow night's game against Texas Tech at 7. The Oklahoma City Dodgers have certainly been dodging those losses. OKC beat the Round Rock Express in Game 1 of the Pacific Coast League Championship Series last night. Game 2 is in OKC tonight at 7:05. After 11 seasons with the Portland Trail Blazers, Damian Lillard is blazing a new trail. Lillard joins 2-time league MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo in Milwaukee, where he should play a pivotal role in an already dominant Bucks roster. Big Game Dame finished his career in Portland as the #1 scorer in Blazer history. Bailey, Snow?
Thanks, Abby. When we return, AI is making its way to the board game industry.
We tell you more about Pictionary adding a high-tech twist after the break.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Things like grass clippings and leaves can contribute harmful levels of nutrients into our surface and drinking water. We must improve water quality at Lake Thunderbird, our main drinking water source, which begins with taking care of our stormwater. Bag your clippings when mowing, or leave them to break down and nourish your lawn. We drink our stormwater, so don't blow it by leaving your grass clippings in the street. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
I'm Olivia Hayes at the OU Nightly Update Desk. The City of Norman says you may have low water pressure later tonight. That's because city maintenance will flush a large water main starting around 11:30 this evening. City officials say this will mainly impact water pressure for residents in the eastern areas of Norman, and the city is expecting the work to be done by 3 a.m. early tomorrow morning. Snow, Bailey, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Olivia. Mattel is making artificial intelligence a player in their new version of Pictionary.
Players will still sketch words from a card, but the twist is that AI will guess. If AI guesses correctly, the player wins, and players can also earn points if they predict whether the AI will guess other players' sketches.
Pre-ordering starts today, and the new game is expected to hit store shelves on Monday.
And October is right around the corner, but it's still not time to pull out the sweaters.
Drake has one last look at the temperatures this week. Drake.
Yeah, so right now, this is temperatures for 6 a.m. Thursday into 6 a.m. Friday. As you can see, if you like running outside, working out, it's not going to be good unless you do it 6 to 8 a.m. on Thursday morning or even at nighttime, because you see those 91, 92s by midday. It's not going to be beautiful at all to stay through, but that 7-day forecast, as you can still see, not bad at all. If you like heat at least, but I don't. Saturday, 91, Sunday, 89. Tuesday, we finally get to 88. Before Wednesday, we're going to see that 85. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Drake, and thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Bailey Coyle.
And I'm Snow Forth. Be sure to tune in to OU Nightly weekdays at 4:30. Good night.
Prepared as your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep or a flood